What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where Graham Jason Matthews break down all the original content you watch on the WWE Network, as well as on the E Network, as today we're talking Season 6, Episode 7 of Total Bellas, entitled Bella Babies. And I mentioned last week that I wasn't sure. I knew for a fact they were going to be showing the birth of Nikki and Artem's child named Mateo. I wasn't sure if we were going to be seeing the birth of Buddy, the baby of Bree and Brian, on the show as well. I don't really remember the teaser from last week's episode, but we did indeed find out that what the babies' names were, and we found out when they were born 6 months ago in reality. But as far as the show is concerned, we found out what the names were, we found out what the gender was of Bree and Brian's baby, because they didn't reveal the gender, remember. We found out at the end of Season 5 that Nikki and Artem were having a boy, and that they were going to name him Mateo. They've been calling him Mateo since day one. Bree and Brian chose to wait. We didn't find out until this episode. So it was a great episode all about the birth of their new baby boys, which was really, really cool. So Nikki, we open up the episode, her water broke at the end of last week's episode. So she mentions how she thought Bree would be the first one to have her kid, just because she's been dilated for weeks. And Bree's excited for Nikki, but at the same time, she's jealous because she also wants a natural birth, and she's been ready for days now, and she's overdue. And if she reaches a certain point by August 1st, they're going to have to do a C-section, which she doesn't want to have to do because she had to do that the last time with Birdie Joe a couple of years ago. She didn't get that chance to have a natural birth. She wants to right that, I don't want to say wrong. It's not a wrong thing, but if it was her choice, she wants to have a natural birth. And Brian even mentions that he also wants Bree to have a natural birth because this is their last chance. I mean, they can't have more kids if they want to, but I think they kind of settled on only 2 kids. That's it. This is going to be their last one. Regardless of whether it's a boy or a girl or whatever, this is their last kid. So they want it to go smoothly with a natural pregnancy. And Artem, meanwhile, is really nervous. He's a first-time father here. Brian has done this before. Artem is going at it for the first time. And Nikki and Artem, as they step out of the car, about to step into the hospital, they realize their lives are about to change forever. So Nikki is talking about the contractions and how painful they are. Artem tries to make it easier for her by, reading to her and reading off poems or something or whatever it was. But I thought that was really cool. So Nikki is 18 hours into labor at this point. I know absolutely nothing about pregnancy. I have no kids of my own. Not that I could have kids, obviously, but in terms of being married and have kids or whatever. So I have no idea whether that's a normal time frame to be in labor for 18 hours or if that's extensively long. I'm not sure. But that sounds like a fucking long time. Bree gets nervous because she hasn't heard from Nikki or Artem. And Nikki was pushing for 2 hours before they finally had the baby. Her heart rate is up. Mateo's heart rate is up. So they actually almost come close to having a C-section. And one of the doctors says, 1 or 2 more times of this, and then we're going to have to go to a C-section to make sure we have this baby nice and healthy. So they finally have the baby before they even have to get to the C-section, which is nice. Nikki discusses the joy of Mateo being born and being a mother. It was July 31st when he was born. Artem was very honored and proud and humbled to be able to cut the umbilical cord and kind of end that, which, gave him life for so long, and now he has life with Nikki in the actual real life world. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, but you know what I'm saying. He saw it as the end of one thing and the beginning of a whole new life with himself and Nikki. So they FaceTime Bree, and she's elated. She's over the moon when she sees Mateo. They show Brian. They show Birdie over FaceTime. They end up FaceTiming Kathy. They FaceTime Artem's mom. They even FaceTime the Bella's Nana, who we haven't seen in quite a long time. Obviously not on this season due to COVID, but it's cool to see that she's still around and whatnot. And she is now I guess she already was a great-grandmother. I was going to say that she was a great-grandmother, but for the first time with Nikki's kids, but with Birdie Joe, she already was. So anyway, is that making a great-grandmother? Yeah, right? Yeah, great-grandmother. So anyway, Bree is getting nervous because her body has not moved. She has had no progression with the pregnancy in the last couple of days. And again, once she reaches August 1st, she has to do a C-section. So everyone's praying for her, Nana, Brian, herself, everybody. And she's like, there must be a reason why my body is not going into labor, because they didn't go into labor with Birdie Joe a couple of years ago, and it's not going into labor now. There's got to be something up here. Thankfully, they didn't really discuss any issues that she had or whatever. They never really explained why. That just might be a matter of circumstance. I have no idea. It happened twice with her. It sucks. But they end up having to go to the hospital on August 1st to have the C-section. So with how much they were talking about how they didn't want to have a C-section, they were praying to not have it, you would think with the way the show works and some of the scripted nature of it, that they wouldn't include those lines unless they were going to have a natural pregnancy. Because honestly, I felt bad after they went to the hospital thinking, man, that really sucks. She had to have a C-section both, not once, but twice with both of her kids when she definitely did not want to. So that was a shame. But they say that if it's a girl, her name is going to be Branch or Lawson, I think. And then if it's a boy, they settled on, first of all, Branch, one of their kids' name is Birdie Joe, so I guess Branch is supposed to like Bird Branch, I don't know. The boy's name is Buddy. All right, if it's a boy, which it obviously ends up being, his name is Buddy, named after Daniel Bryan's father. I think that's cute. I like the name Buddy. I know it sounds like Buddy the Elf from the movie Elf, but I like the name. It also has significance. I have no idea what the fuck the significance of Branch would be, other than just going with the bird theme with Birdie Joe, which to me sounds stupid. It's their choice. It's their kids. They could do what they want, but I thought Buddy was a great first name. And then they said the middle name, and I honestly had to go online and check it out to make sure I heard them correctly. The baby's name is Buddy. They said Desert. I thought she said Desert. That's why I'm like, all right, did she actually say Desert, or am I just bugging here? In one of the videos they put up from over the summer when they had their kids was, the birth of Buddy Dessert Danielson. It's spelled like dessert. Dessert. So unless there was a typo and the baby's middle name is actually Desert, either way, I think that's just, I wouldn't name my middle names. I wouldn't give a middle name to anyone Dessert. Honestly, I just think that's silly. But anyway, I thought Buddy was a really nice first name. At least that's what people are going to hear. So Bree's in the C-section for about 45 minutes, I believe. Brian calls it really intense. And he's just happy that the baby is healthy. That's really all that's important at the end of the day. The baby comes out healthy. Buddy looks a lot like Brian's dad, Buddy, which is really cool. They show the side-by-side pictures. He is born on August 1st, 2020. They FaceTime Nikki and Kathy to show them that they had a baby boy. Because, again, they didn't find out until that moment that it was going to be a boy. And they already had some of the names picked out, but they didn't know what the gender was going to be until he came out. So they FaceTime Nikki, and Nikki's in the exact same hospital, which is kind of funny. And she's leaving, I think, that next day. But you can't go visit people freely with how COVID is working and shit. So then I don't know if they see each other in the hospital at all until they just get back to their houses. But yeah, Nikki and Kathy very excited to see the baby. Mateo and Buddy meet each other, which was cool. The Bellas discuss their pregnancies. So Nikki and Artem bring Mateo home. They show him around the place like he's, like he gives a fuck. The baby was literally just born yesterday, so I'm sure he doesn't care, but I thought it was cool, though. They invite Birdie over while Bree's still in the hospital. I thought that was cool. Nikki says that it's really special to have the whole family together and to share this moment with them. And Birdie absolutely loves Buddy. She's like holding Buddy. She's kissing him. She's calling him Tiny. I thought that was the best part of the entire episode. I thought that was great. And the Bellas also praised their mom's bravery for everything she's been through, the hard times she's been through lately, the tough surgery, and now she's here holding two beautiful baby boys, which gives her a lot of flashbacks to when she had the twins many, many years ago. So I thought this was a great episode. We did not see JJ. There was literally no talk of JJ, which you think there would be considering he's their fucking brother. Maybe they did FaceTime him, they just didn't show that as part of the episode, because as far as the show is concerned, there's some tension there between the two sides. I don't know. But I thought this was great, though. I thought it was a very, very good episode showing the births of both Buddy. Brian would be interesting. Buddy and Mateo, which is cool too. Beautiful baby boys, as I said earlier. So check it out right now on the E! Network, Season 6, Episode 7, Bella Babies from Total Bellas. So we will be back next week with another review. I don't know if it's going to be up on Friday or the weekend. I have no idea. What I do know, though, is that we have a ton of content going up here on the channel in the days ahead. So in addition to this review, we also had my AJ Styles interview. You heard that correctly. My interview with the phenomenal one himself, AJ Styles, went live this morning here on the channel. In 2020 alone here on the channel, we have had interviews with Keith Lee, Apollo Crews, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Fandango, and AJ Styles. quite the collection of talent right there, if I do say so myself. So subscribe. I can't say it enough for more exclusive interviews with people like that and more interviews to come. Hit the bell button to be notified every time a new video goes up. And not only the interviews, but we have the weekly Q&A videos every single Wednesday. We have the WrestleRant radio excerpt reviews, or those, the excerpts from the podcast that I do every single Thursday. We have Total Bellas reviews on Fridays. We have many other reviews, including my SmackDown audio review on Saturdays, Talking Smack on Saturdays too. Sunday, I'm breaking down WWE Untold of the AJ Styles Royal Rumble debut, which is what we promoted during our interview for Bleacher Report, which is also up in article form now. So yeah, definitely check that out. And I already had the chance to watch that as part of the interview with AJ. So I'm planning to record that review in the next day or two. And it will be up. It's going to be up on Sunday morning. As soon as that thing drops on the WWE Network at 10 a.m. Eastern on Sunday morning, my review, bam, just like that. I'm going to try to time it and get that review up at exactly 10 a.m. You won't even fucking watch a second of the documentary before my review goes up. So obviously it's going to feature spoilers, and it is a very, very good piece of business. So I was very fortunate that checking out in advance. You can check out the documentary on Sunday and my review immediately afterward. And that's going to do it, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and I'm Graham G.S. Matthews. Oh, and I forgot to mention this too. Monday, I'm about to record this right after I'm done with this. Chris Mueller and I, the doc, we're going back at it with our reviews of WandaVision, episodes 1 and 2 that dropped today. So those reviews should be up on Monday. Check those out as well. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.